if you guys all wondered what it was that drove our success and what we had to, what caused our momentum, and then who was our guiding light on becoming great coaches ourselves, I would love to introduce the man behind the curtain, the guy that's pulling all the strings, our coach, Coach Aaron Cuha. Aaron.
Thank you very much, Mike. That is awesome, and I really, really appreciate it. Hey, team, I'm super excited to be here and to cover some AI kind of, how-tos for you guys. Usually what I like to do is, rather than just show you a bunch of AIs or tell you about a bunch of AIs, I like to tend to show you and teach you and get some interaction. So anybody that has the paid version of ChatGPT, let's get it open on your computer. I may ask you to share at some point and, show me what you got going on. The idea here is that you learn how to do this on here, not just see it. So that's the goal for me. Like Mike and Maria said, I've been their coach for a long time, and I couldn't be prouder of them and where they've taken this, because I think they're even surpassing me these days. They're absolutely amazing. I'm going to jump right into it because we only have so much time, and I've got back-to-back calls today. But I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to kind of give you guys an idea of what we're doing here. The hope for me is to give you guys the basics on AI. So I'm going to try to skip through it fairly fast, because I'm going to assume most of you know that. So the way that I work these calls, if you have a question, just unmute yourself and speak up and ask the question. I don't mind being interrupted at all. I love answering questions. I promise you this will be helpful for you. The challenge we're having with AI these days is that we have this app overload. There's all these AIs that we can use. And as we dive into all these different tools, we have to acknowledge, a common language we all face, and that's this overload, right? So it's overwhelming at first, and my goal is to make it a little easier for you. I'm going to show you my tech stack. I'm going to show you why I use it. I'm going to show you Jason Pantana's tech stack. I'll kind of go a little bit deeper with you guys. So you don't have to do everything that we learned today, but you can do some of it. The objective is for you guys to leave this call with a basic understanding of AI and a basic understanding of prompts for ChatGPT, and maybe syndicating some content. We won't get into everything. I did 3 hours worth of this call for my team, and I still didn't finish it all. So we're going to give you guys the best we can give you in the next hour, and then we'll share more. First of all, I want you guys to understand what an AI is and what an AI isn't. The main thing that you need to understand is that machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence, right? So we have, systems that learn from data. So, instead of being explicitly programmed to perform a specific task, these systems use algorithms to analyze and interpret data and learn from it. And then they make informed decisions after they've learned from this data. So that's machine learning. And then we have natural language processing, which is a branch of artificial intelligence that focuses on enabling computers to understand and interpret and respond to human language in a valuable way. So now, by leveraging algorithms and natural language processing, the systems can analyze and understand what you guys are doing, like watching you guys and then imitating you, or listening to your voice and imitating you. And then we have computer vision, which is artificial intelligence that enables computers and systems to derive meaningful information from those digital images, right? So we can upload videos or other visual inputs, and the machine can watch those videos or read those PDFs or look at those images to interpret and understand the visual world in a way similar to the way humans do. And it's important that you guys understand these differences, because as you learn each of these, you're going to understand how to prompt better and how to use this AI. And that's really what this group call is all about. Audio processing, it's like teaching computers to understand and work with sounds, right? So we're just like we listen and recognize voices, music and computers use those rules to hear and make sense of different sounds as well. Okay. Outputs. You guys all know this. We can output text, ChatGPT. We probably do it every day. Hopefully you guys are doing it. Images, Dolly, Adobe Firefly, and other, types of AIs. Videos, Be Human, Descript, and audio, Adobe or Audio, or any of those AIs that just do audio. So this is probably the most important thing that you learn about AI is IPO. Every AI is an IPO. Believe it or not, your coaches are IPO. So us as coaches, you guys provide input to us. You're the starting point where unique ideas, questions, and inspiration begins. And then the coach or the AI, the advanced computational mechanism that analyzes and learns and responds to you guys, right? And then you, collaborative result, blending human intuition and machine intelligence. So we do the same thing with you as you guys do with AI. We take what you say, we help you refine that, and then we give you guys hopefully end up with something else. The next thing you guys should understand is that there's really only 3 major large language models in today's day and age. There's actually hundreds of them out there, but that are available to us. That's ChatGPT, Bard, and Claude. And what these are is they are, think of them as the ultimate chef. Like, you think of these models as, you give them a sprinkle of words and they cook up, a bunch of sentences for you, right? So they digest encyclopedia-sized meals of information. So they're reading the internet, they're reading whatever it is, and they're giving it back to you. Now, every app that you see historically is tied to one of these large language models. Okay, so let me give you an example. These are a bunch of apps that are specially trained to work directly with these large language models. So Jasper, WriteSonic, Writer, Copy.ai, Tom.ai, right? Notion. All of these are tied to either ChatGPT or Claude. So when you are using specialty trained AIs, they're using the large language model, and it's giving you back something in return. Historically, what these specialty trained AIs have done is they have written advanced prompts for you. Very, very detailed, very, very advanced, right, prompts. So what happens with those prompts are, we'll use Jasper as a great example. There are dozens and dozens of templates that you can use in Jasper to create an output for you. Go ahead. Somebody had a question? Nope. Okay. We're gonna jump to OpenAI's. This is what you see when you guys log into ChatGPT. Raise your hand. Has everybody here been in ChatGPT? Does everybody here have the paid version of ChatGPT? Okay, if you do not have the paid version of ChatGPT, you need to do it as soon as possible. There's been a waiting list. I've seen some people not have to wait here lately. It's $20 a month. What I show you today is going to be dependent on you having that paid version. I promise you it'll be the best $20 a month you spend. It will be the biggest no-brainer. Now, in that, once you have paid that paid version, you're going to see we have GPT-4, which is their latest version, right? It's their fastest version. We have GPT 3.5, which is what anybody that's not paid is using today. They have some base code. They have Dolly, which is their image generation. They have Whisper, which is a model that can convert audio into text. They have quite a few models that are readily available for you today. So by upgrading to the latest version, we don't get anything else. There's no affiliates or anything like this. You guys just learn to kill it. Okay, let's get into it. What is ChatGPT? And the way that I thought the best way to teach you guys this is I asked ChatGPT. And ChatGPT says, we're a computer program designed to talk with people. It uses a lot of information it learned from books, articles, and websites to answer questions, right? Have conversations, write stories, and give explanations. ChatGPT will gladly answer any question you have. This is probably the biggest thing you guys can remember to do. When you write something to ChatGPT and you ask it for something, all you have to do is tell ChatGPT, hey, ChatGPT, ask me any questions if you don't understand what I'm looking for. And ChatGPT is going to start asking you questions, and you're going to answer it. And at the end, you're going to get an output. Remember, IPO. You're providing more input, more input, more input. It processes it, and then it's going to give you an output that will knock it out of the park for you almost always. These are the GPT modalities. Conversation, translation, researching, enhancing, analyzing, problem solving. Any of these things ChatGPT does. It operates primarily in the text modality. So when you log into it, it's going to be in a text modality, meaning its core function is to generate, understand, and interact using these written languages. And that's these here. Okay, 3.5, just what we said. It's their fastest model. It's great for most everyday tasks. It's going to work pretty quickly for you. It's going to give you responses really, really fast, but it's only read the internet through, I think, 2001, somewhere in that neighborhood. It doesn't quite have as much data sets, but it will be really, really good, right? So custom instructions. Here's where we're going to start having some fun with ChatGPT. Okay, once you have paid to become a paid member of ChatGPT, you can do what's called custom instructions. And custom instructions mean we give ChatGPT some data, and ChatGPT reads that data every single time that we ask it to do something for us. So I'm going to change what I share with you guys really fast here and kind of show you how we do custom instructions. So you guys have heard me say already that if we don't know what to do, we ask ChatGPT. So I'm going to show you how this works. First, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go here, and right here where it says custom instructions. And once again, you guys have to be a paid ChatGPT member to have access to this. So you're going to go to custom instructions, and when it opens up, it's going to say, what would you like ChatGPT to know about you to provide better responses? And then it's going to say, how would you like ChatGPT to respond? And I'm going to give you guys a great example because I love making fun of Jason Pantana. Jason Pantana, the very first thing he puts in here is make sure you always use an Oxford comma, because his mother's an English teacher and it makes him crazy if there's no Oxford comma. For me, I could care less if there's an Oxford comma. I tell it, I want you to be sarcastic and snarky as possible. I want you to be in my face. I want you to use NLP and neuro-linguistic programming or Phil Jones, right? So that's how I wanted to react. But the way that I did that, you guys, is I said, hey, ChatGPT, ask me some questions to develop your custom instructions. For section 1, what would you like to know, right? So it asked me a bunch of questions. I answered all of the questions. It created the custom instructions for me. Now, this will make ChatGPT talk like me. I'm going to show you a little bit later how we programmed it to role play, right? So that makes it talk like Tom or like a real estate agent. We uploaded dozens and dozens of role play into it, and now we role play live on voice with ChatGPT. So we create these different GPTs. Okay, so that's how we do custom constructions. The other thing I want to show you while we're here really quick is when you go to settings and beta, once you're paid, you have to make sure that you go in here to general and you go in here to beta features, right? And you turn on this as a plus user. So this allows plugins. Really, really important. Gives you a bunch of other things you can do. And then we go here to data controls and we make sure that chat history and training is on. And then now ChatGPT is going to use the internet. It's going to allow you to use plugins. It's going to allow you to upload documents. It's going to give you a bunch more user-friendly stuff. Does that make sense? So let's go back on over to here. That's how we do custom instructions. Does anybody have any custom instructions questions? Speak up. Boy, we got a quiet group.
This is good stuff. I love it.
No problem. So
I have a question, please.
ask away.
So when you went to the settings, what did you do? Could you go back to that? You went to general?
I absolutely will. So let me go back.
Okay.
Let me go back over here. Let's go back here. So I go here to settings, right?
Right.
And I go to settings and beta and custom instructions. So any of these work, right? So I'm going to teach you some of these other ones as we move along, but custom instructions is where custom instructions is. Here's one of the things that I've seen with a lot of my team. They have the paid version, but they're not using the same email to log in via their computer or their phone or their paid version. So always make sure that you're using whatever email is on that paid version, and you should see this right away. So if you're paying the $20 a month, this is what you'll see. Okay. Also, if you've paid via the internet or via your phone app, make sure that it's this app, this little ChatGPT, the white one. If it's black, you got taken. It's a knockoff. So that's how we get to the custom instructions.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Okay, back to this. This is kind of what you get with the plus. You get subscribe, you get suitable ChatGPT Plus subscription plan. It's $20. You get all these little things. I'm going to let you guys go in there and play with it. It's very valuable. Okay, GPT 4.0, this is the most advanced version. once you're paid, once you have this, you're going to see where it's default, browse with Bing, advanced data analysis, plugins, Dolly. Just so you know, all of these things I'm going to explain as we move along. But so as you see me doing them, you need to understand that you need the plus to get to here. So if you're not seeing it, you got to do the plus. Got my dogs playing around behind me. Okay. I'm going to teach you something that you can do with your phone really fast. And you guys are going to have a little bit of fun with this. And let's go to my phone. Let me know when you guys are seeing my phone.
See it.
Okay. I'm going to go into my ChatGPT. I've created with a couple other coaches a role play GPT. So you're going to see me go to this role play. I'll share this with Maria and Mike, and they'll share it with you guys. So I'll go right into the role play. If you see right at the bottom, there's this little headphones. This only works on the phone, you guys. This is my favorite ChatGPT function. I put my phone on my dash, I hit those headphones, and I have a conversation with ChatGPT every time I'm driving somewhere. And it's crazy the conversation that I have. Let's turn up the volume a little bit, make sure you guys can hear it. We're going to do a quick role play session, and I want you to be a potential seller that was searching for their home's value on my website.
I'll be a potential seller. Here's the scenario. I was browsing your website and used the tool to estimate my home's value. The estimate seemed a bit lower than what I expected, especially considering the recent upgrades I've made to the property. Let's start the conversation. Ship. Hi there. I recently used the home valuation tool on your website for my property at 123 Maple Street.
You guys get the idea. Once I have this entire role play with ChatGPT, it's going to print out, it's going to give me the entire everything, and it's going to save it in my GPT, in my ChatGPT. So now I can go into it from my desktop and I can redo it. I can play with it. I can say, hey, let's do a role play, but I want you to be super aggressive and tell me where to go. I can say, I want you to be super nice. And now I can say, I want you to be the real estate agent, and I want you to use Phil Jones magic words in everything you do. This alone should take you guys up a notch in skills. I'm an NLP master practitioner. I'm Phil Jones certified. I'm DIS certified, and ChatGPT is better than I am. Not to mention, my entire career was calling expireds and FSBOs. So use this because it'll be powerful for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah. How did you set that all up from the beginning? I saw the headphones, but
so you just hit that headphones. There's going to be two things. We're going to send you a link to the role play. It's a program GPT that we've done. So you'll just save it once you have it. And then I hit the role play first, and then I hit the headphones.
I appreciate
Right? So
that. That's
the
awesome.
ChatGPT knows I'm going to role play with it, but it's in that custom GPT. Right? Now, I don't have to hit those headphones, you guys. What I could do is I could tell the ChatGPT, hey, I'm going to, I could say, hey, I'll give you an easier way. I could say, we're going to do a role play session, right? You're a real estate agent receiving a phone call from ChatGPT and a potential lead, but I could explain it all to ChatGPT, or I could, let it use the pre-program role play. Does that make sense? Okay. I'm going to make sure that I share slides with you guys. I'm going to make sure that any questions you guys have, I'm available to answer your questions for Mike and Maria, so you guys don't have to worry. I love these guys, and I'm going to do anything I can to help them and you.
Aaron?
Yep.
Quick question. Is this going to be like videotaped? I can go back and I'm all new to the whole coaching. It's my first shot at real estate. So I got everything brand new, and I feel like I'm on brain overload. I want to be able to go back over here. Are you recording this?
Mike, you're recording your group call, correct?
Yes, it should be recorded, and I'm going to be uploading it to the Discord server so give me about 24 hours.
Thank you.
Okay. And then on top of that, like I said, if you have questions, you can reach out. I have another recording. I have like a 2.5 hour or 3 hour version of this that I'm happy to share as well. That will go beyond where we go. All right, we're gonna keep moving along, because otherwise we'll never get through it. It's really, really important for me that you guys understand that how prompting is. So what prompting is versus writing or designing or analyzing. Prompting is the key. The better you learn to prompt, the better the results and the output's going to be. Remember, input, process, output. And I'm going to really show you guys how we do that on a really, really high level. But there's prompted outputs, right? So I can tell ChatGPT that I want you to write a blog post. I want you to utilize the most modern SEO for real estate agent in Newport Beach. The more I give it, the better. Or, hey, I want you to research the best ads for real estate agents in the nation, in this market, or what have you. So any of these prompts I can give it. If I was going to write a blog and I wanted SEO, I could upload Google's SEO guide to ChatGPT. It's 170 pages, and say, read Google's SEO guide and make me the perfect blog post to end up on page 1, number 1. And believe it or not, that's where you're going to end up when they do this.
May I say something
Crazy.
about that?
Sure.
Actually, first of all, I am pretty familiar with AI. I've been using large language models for some time, so this is very good. You're doing a fantastic job. I'm impressed. The only thing that I don't know if you're familiar with originality.ai, which is an engine that detects the use of AI in blog posts. So Google is using, and it's so accurate, it's impressive, to down push content that is not written by humans. So something to keep in mind, if you ever have a post written by OpenAI, put it through originality.ai and it will rip it apart.
Love that you shared that. Let me give you an example. One of the top SEO people in the nation taught me this little trick. And what he does after he has them read the Google document is then he goes through and says, I would like you to customize it and make it 100% original. I want you to give me 5 spots during this article to put in stories. And he just edits the doc. So once it's spit out everything, the more we add, we're not taking away from the SEO. And I'm going to kind of show you how to do that. Is it Matthias? I'm going to show you how I do it here in a little bit. And then you'll kind of get it. And you'll be like, oh, it's super easy for us to take AI documents or AI content and personalize it.
Awesome.
Right? By the way, the guy I will make sure that I share that video with you guys also. It's a YouTube, and he does this for a living. He's the top guy in the nation, and he teaches everybody in this video how he beat his own stuff using this technique. Content generation, you guys get the idea. SEO, taglines, lists, instructions, titles. I use AI for every video, for every online social post, for everything that I do, and I'm tying it into SEO on every single thing. All right, it's in the details, right? So I'm going to show you guys how I design prompts. I do not expect you to do this exactly, but I promise you, as you get used to doing this, it will become some prompt magic for you. So a lot of times I will leave the first section of my custom instructions empty. So if I'm coaching, this is a great example. I take out the first section of my custom instructions because sometimes I want it to act as a real estate agent. So sometimes I'll say, act as a real estate agent. You're in Beverly Hills. You're luxury. I want you to do this, 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 and this. And that way it's not acting like a coach. It's acting like a real estate agent. So this is how I do it. First thing I do is I declare to ChatGPT who's speaking. So like act as a seasoned real estate agent for home sellers. And then I'm going to declare to ChatGPT what my objective is. I want you to compose a guide on tips to improve curb appeal, right? And then I'm going to give it some context. The guide is for homeowners planning to sell and increase value, right? And then create a PDF with numbered lists, visuals, and a summary. And then write reassuringly, concisely, and with moderate formality. Now, I'll be honest with you, all I save is the left-hand column of this. I've got a little cheat sheet that just says persona, objective, context, format, and style. And I copy and I paste it into my ChatGPT, and then I fill it out, fill it out, fill it out, fill it out. I will usually at the very end say, ask me any questions you have in order to make this as perfect as possible, up to 5 or 10, because it may ask me 100. I don't want it to ask me 100. And it's going to it may ask me 1 or 2 questions just to clarify, and then boom, it goes to town. So we'll give you an example of this. Before delving into the task at hand, I may say, engage in a discussion to ensure clarity and alignment on the assignment. This is one of the biggest challenges that people see it. Like even, even my clients, and they know to do it, then they fail to do it, right? Feel free to prepare and pose any questions you could clarify that you could clarify the details, relevant background, goals, any other pertinent aspect of the task. Now, once again, I just keep this in my notes. So I use OneNote for my AI prompts, and I just copy and paste it at the very end of whatever I'm asking it. And then it will just be like, nope, I don't need anything from you. Boom. This is kind of what it looks like when it's all said and done, right? So this is me doing that exact thing on a test. Like, you're a highly experienced real estate agent in Beverly Hills with extensive knowledge, blah, 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 blah. And then as I did this, ChatGPT kicked out, what was a really, really high quality article. Now, this particular one, we weren't, I wasn't targeting SEO. This was just a sample for you guys, for my team. But what happens is everything that comes out of ChatGPT after this is much, much closer to my final product. And if you don't do this, you're going to get something like, oh, ChatGPT is terrible. It doesn't understand me at all. Like, I don't know where it's going with that. All right. So I love this quote. I don't know who did it, but speak what you seek until you see what you've said. And I'm going to give you guys a great example. I was reading an article from a guy on X the other day where he said, ChatGPT, make me a picture of a really, really happy puppy. And it's this beautiful puppy that's smiling. And then he said 30 times, make him happier. And by the end, it was a galaxy. There was no longer a puppy there. So ChatGPT just kept trying to make him happier until ChatGPT had lost all its way, right? So there's an end and a beginning, but somewhere in the middle is what you're searching for. All right, we're exiting the age of how, right? And we're entering the era of what and who. There's an amazing book that's called Who Not How. I highly suggest you guys read it. It's written by one of the best executive coaches in the world. He also wrote The Gap in the Gain and a bunch of other. So this is your homework for this first section, guys. Set up your GPT Plus account, right? Make sure you have the GPT mobile app. That's the white colored one. And you need to draft your standard prompt language, right? I would love for you to share it with your coach, right? So he could see and provide feedback, both of your coaches, right? But that's the homework for the first section. Any questions before we jump to section 2? It's going to get more complicated.
Yes,
Yeah.
I had a quick question.
Yeah,
How do you, I'm sorry, how do you draft your standard prompt language? So I have the app
Okay.
for,
Well, so this is your standard prompt language back here. What I just showed. This is it right here. So this is your standard
Okay.
prompt language for me. So I create a persona like this. It's almost always for you guys going to be the same persona, right?
yeah,
Right. I'm going to leave objective blank. I may leave the context blank, and I may leave the format blank, but then in style, I'm probably going to have what I want the manner of speech to be. And I'm going to have that saved somewhere, in OneNote or an email. And then every time I go to ChatGPT, I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it. I'm going to put in the objective, the context, and the format. And then it's going to go to town. And it's going to save you hours. It really, really will. Like, I can go down rabbit holes with ChatGPT for hours if I don't draft it properly.
yeah.
Does that make sense? And you're going to get so good at it, you're going to be like, wow, this is awesome. Okay, we're going to jump to the AI tech stack.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah,
we
no,
jump?
please go.
On the ChatGPT4, I have that. I noticed on your homepage, you had the 4 boxes that says, plan a trip, brainstorms. How did you change that?
Sure, I'm going to show you actually guys a little something here. That's a great question. Let me open up a blank ChatGPT so I can show you. Let's move share. Let's go back over to here. I've got a plugin tied to my GPT. So I'm going to move this over here. So here's what I have. So you're going to see something like this. Once I send you this role play AI, you'll see this. You'll see, what you guys have done. You'll see your name and then maybe export chat. You won't see this stuff. This is a third-party plugin called AI PRM that I use. I was going to show it to you later but I'll kind of show it to you now. Basically what AI PRM does is this is a free version. I don't pay anything for this. It will write prompts for me. right? So I can tell it to write a fully SEO optimized article, or I'll give you guys, we'll go real estate here. And it'll go a market analysis. I can just go in here and put my city and state, and it's going to do a detailed market analysis with trends, with graphs, with everything, all with AI PRM. It's going to write the whole prompt for me, or, you know, an AI assistant, or, you know, investment in real estate, or keyword research. I could hit keyword research and boom, and tell where I am and who I am, and it's going to give me the best keywords. Or I could say, I want you to research the best keywords for YouTube for myself, right? So these are all pre-written prompts for us that it does for me with this plugin. And these are from that AI PRM. So you won't see these unless you have that plugin. Does that make sense? Okay.
How do you add these plugins?
So this one is called AI PRM. You would just go to AIPRM.com and you would download it's a Chrome plugin. You download the plugin, you connect your ChatGPT and AI PRM, and you're going to see this. Now they have a paid version that's even better, but I really don't need a paid version. And I'm going to tell you guys why. When I get rid of real estate here, I think there's 4,638 prompts in the free version. I think that's going to cover me. Right. And I use it like write a complete book in one click, and you click on that prompt, and then you start telling it, and it's going to do your chapters. It's going to start writing one chapter at a time. I'll tell it, I want you to leave a spot here and here for stories, and you can write a whole book in one day. Amazing. with these prompts.
I have the $9 version of this. It's awesome. I just need to better know how to use this.
Listen, there's a bunch of great YouTube videos for this. That's what I watched, and it was awesome for me. Okay.
Good point. Thank you.
So let's come back on over to this. You guys, listen, your tech stack's going to be really, really important. What I have is I have a folder at the very top of my Chrome that says AI stack. And in that folder, I have the AIs that I'm currently using, right? And it's really, really important to have quick and easy access to them. Now, next to it, I have AI platforms. And in that folder, there's 100 AIs, because every time there's a new AI, I'm going to dig into it. I'm going to see what it does. I'm trying to kind of stay at the cutting edge for us, right? But the main things for me is I want to have a predominant, what I'm using for writing. And I use Jasper and I use ChatGPT, and I'll explain to you later if we get to it, Jasper. And Mike, just so you guys know, Mike and Maria, if we don't get very far, I'll be happy to do one more call next month for you guys, another hour. Okay.
Oh, well, okay.
Right.
So
Awesome.
just to give them the rest, whatever we miss. So
Yeah.
I love to have a good writing one. I need a couple great design AIs, and I use DALL-E, which is part of ChatGPT, and I use Adobe Firefly, a free version, for generative design or images or generate video. I use the script. I'm going to share all of these with you. I use for avatar cloning, I use Be Human, right? So just figure out whatever the AI stack for you guys is by using it and testing it. Okay. There's no right or wrong here. You're going to, some ones are going to be super easy for you, and some of them are going to be hard. Okay. I hated some that I love now. These are kind of the writing go-tos for me. I use ChatGPT every day. My team uses Jasper every day, and I'll share with you why we use Jasper every day. And I use Tom AI. So all of you guys have access to all of these. It's really, really simple. And I would probably, if it were me, be a paid member of ChatGPT and a paid member of Jasper. And you'll learn why here as we get through it. Okay. This is what I do with these writing AIs. I'm doing taglines and titles and blogs and captions and articles and scripts. And I have a VA that generates an article every single day that's scoring 100 on Google, which means I'm going to end up on page 1. Now I'm going to edit it like we were talking about a little bit earlier. I'm going to personalize it, and I'm actually going to run it through an AI that tests it to see if it's AI generated or human generated, to make sure that Google doesn't do it. But Google's also made it clear that they're not going to kill AI articles. They're just going to not give them as much credit. These are the AIs that are out there. So like I'm trying to learn Notion right now. I wouldn't go to it. It's pretty complicated now if you don't already use it, but I'm only using Jasper and ChatGPT and Tom AI. And I'm probably going to add Notion because it's kind of like a cross between Monday.com and an AI that's writing. So we'll see how that goes. You can take a screenshot of this if you want. We're going to jump to the next one. Now, kind of how Jasper is different from ChatGPT, and I'm going to show you guys how Jasper is different. And let's share this part. So here's Jasper. So a couple things with Jasper is I can go to home with Jasper, and like AI PRM with Jasper, I can look and say, okay, what are the templates that are available in Jasper? So Jasper has created a lot of templates that are even better than AI PRM for me. So like residential listing description. It's probably the best listing description tool I've ever used. Even if you only use it for one listing a month, it pays for itself. If I'm going to go to social media, or if I'm going to go to video and I want to write a hook and an introduction or a script, it just does some little things that AI PRM doesn't do. But what's more important for me is what it can do tied to Surfer SEO. And I'm going to give you an example. I was testing it the other day I have an agent in Prague, and we were going to write an article for him on SEO. I don't know why. Oh, let's see it pop up. So when this is tied with Surfer SEO, it's going to tell me what I need to do. So it's going to say that the average article for this keyword, real estate agency Prague, is 63. And that if I get above 68, I'm going to end up on page 1. And then all I have to do is start implementing these words into my article, and my article keeps going. Or I can go here and just tell Jasper to keep writing, and Jasper is going to keep writing. And as Jasper writes, this number is going to keep going up and up and up. And until I get to, I'm probably good words now, but I need 19 headings. I need to have at least 20 paragraphs, and I need about 6 to 17 images. So all I'd probably do is probably recreate some headings here, add some images, and my article is going to be at the top. Now you could do this for anything that you could possibly imagine, and it's going to help you dial it in. It'll do the same thing for SEO for your videos. Pretty powerful tool. If you're intimidated by it, just use ChatGPT for now. But if you're willing to step up, or if you have a VA, the first thing I did with my VAs when I hired them is I made them spend 2 weeks learning Jasper and learning Surfer SEO backwards and forwards. And now every time they write an article, it ends up on page 1.
So
any questions on Jasper?
Yes. So what was the AI that you used to make sure that Google doesn't deem your article as being written by AI?
You know what? I'm drawing a blank on my name, but there's an AI that's like a human AI. Like it will just say, check for AI, and it tells you what it works or what it would deem. If you do a quick Google search, you'll find it. There's a few of them that do it. But once again, for me, I read my article, I add some personal anecdotes, and I'm done. I don't run it through an AI anymore. Now I can tell ChatGPT to make it 100% human sounding. Use my words, use my tone, use my inflection. I can even put a link to my website and put a link to my blog or put a link to my YouTube and say, write in my brand voice. And it will write in my voice. Does that make sense? It'll even make my grammar errors.
That's
I
awesome.
posted in the chat one of them that does it, the AI content detector, but like Aaron said, you can do a Google search and find all the other ones.
Perfect.
Okay. We already talked about GPT-4, so I'm not going to go any more into that. Tom AI, has everybody here used Tom AI?
Yes,
Come on, guys.
I
Do
do.
you need me to show you Tom AI, or has everybody got it? Mike?
No, show us.
I don't
We
see
got it.
all the hands up. I think you're gonna have to show them.
Okay, let's jump into
We need to
Tom AI.
learn. I don't know
Okay.
about Tommy.
It doesn't seem to be as good as Chat GPT because I go both to test it myself.
I
Okay.
agree.
There's some glitches.
Yes.
So let's talk about that, you guys. That's a great question. So you got to remember, I need you to remember that the Tom AI is just
Beta.
a custom GPT, right? So what that means is Tom has taken all of his coaching calls, all of his words, all of his stuff, and uploaded it. So really, Tom AI is just a real estate AI. So I would only be asking real estate and coaching related questions when I'm using Tom AI. Okay. And I'm going to share my screen and show you what I mean by that. So you guys see my screen? Oops. I think we got to switch it.
Yeah, we see it.
I don't know why it's not. Okay. So here's Tom AI. Okay, got it. All we do is go to Tom AI, open it up. You're going to see me. Tell me everything I need to know about geofarming. Right? This is the type of stuff that we want to ask Tom AI. Right? Because Tom AI is likely listened to my coaching calls and Tom's coaching calls and all of Tom's videos and everything. And it's going to tell you everything you want or need to know about a geofarm. Right? Now I could go take it a step further and say, now help me design a geofarm or help me design. Here, watch, I'll give you something else. Tom's going to keep going because Tom's very, very detailed. But I have, let's say you had a potential seller who's looking at your website, the home valuation page, and you call them and they say, I was just shopping. I have a homeowner on my site that says they are just shopping. Use Phil M. Jones magic words to come up with an objection handler. Tom AI is going to say, boom, here's how we're going to handle that. And it's actually going to absolutely make sense to see what's out there before making such a big decision, right? It's going to give you all of your scripts. It's going to teach you how to handle small objections and big objections. ChatGPT would do the same thing, but with ChatGPT, I would put a link to Tom's YouTube and a link to Tom's blog. And I would say, use Tom Ferry's words, use Phil Jones' words, and help me come up with at least 5 objection handlers. One with Phil Jones, one with Tom Ferry, and one with, let's say, ninja selling techniques. And then it's going to come up with 3 or 5 different ones. And then I'm going to choose the one that I like the best. Anybody have any questions on Tom AI? Woohoo! All right. Good
Thanks for
somewhere.
the refresher.
Right? That is a refresher. It's not going to replace ChatGPT, you guys. It doesn't have 1/1,000,000th of what ChatGPT has in knowledge.
It's just focused on
it's
real
got a
estate.
large language model behind it, but it's been programmed for a specific thing, just like that role play thing that I'm going to share with you. That's only for role playing. It won't answer all the questions. Here's where we're going to get it. Here's where it's going to get a little fun. We're going to do a little bit of generative design. This is where most of my agents get a little shaky wakey. They're like, oh, I don't know about that, right? So I'm going to show you what I use for design. And then hopefully you guys are going to come out of this with like, okay, I got it. So if you're going to create photorealistic images, and what that means, if you're going to create images that look like real people, Adobe Firefly for me is probably one of the best, right? So I may go to Adobe Firefly and I may tell Adobe Firefly, I want you to create a photorealistic image for me. And I'll give you guys, I'm going to show you guys how we do this really fast, because I went into Adobe Firefly and had it create something for me before we got on the call. So I asked Adobe Firefly, create a photorealistic image of a weathered, very old commercial fisherman, make him super close up to his face, only right embodying the essence of someone who spent years trolling. This is what Adobe Firefly made for me. Historically, this is going to be funny because you guys are going to, it's going to prove me wrong right now. Historically, Adobe is going to make better photorealistic images because it's Adobe. Their image, they've programmed it with millions of images that everybody has used over the, dozens of decades. But ChatGPT is catching up. I put the exact same prompt into ChatGPT, and this is what ChatGPT gave me today.
Wow.
And I don't know about you guys, but that looks pretty realistic, right? So all you guys have to do is, you see right here where it says Dolly or this little drop-down arrow. If you hit this drop-down arrow, you can choose different plugins, or you can choose Dolly, right? So when you go to a new ChatGPT, you don't even have to tell it, it'll auto do it. If you just say, create an image, ChatGPT is automatically going to use DALL-E for you now. So, and it's going to create an image. But remember, just like with anything else, you need to have, as much as possible that you've given it so that it can create the best image. So how I do it is I will go into ChatGPT and I'll say, I would like your help creating an image prompt. I want you to help me create an image. Don't create the image yet, just the prompt for the following, and ask me as many details as possible. And it will create the prompt for me. And then my image is almost always dead on right off the bat. So, now I will give it some little pushes here and there. But I can upload an image of myself and say, describe this image and recreate it. Or like I created an image of my wife and my dogs in the style of Pixar for her the other day because she was having a bad day. And she was super, super excited. So whatever works for you guys, that's how Adobe Firefly works. Okay, that's how ChatGPT works. They're both really, really good. Now I can add more. I can create suggestions. I can change it to art. I can change the intensity here. This is the free version. I'm not paying anything for this. It's just creating images. And I want you guys to start thinking about how do I use this to create images for my social media from now on? Houses and happy couples and what have you. How do I use this to create every single thumbnail from today forward? And I'm going to show you how I create thumbnails with this. Hopefully we're going to run out of time. So that's my favorite image generation is Adobe Firefly and ChatGPT. There are a lot more out there, you guys. And it does a lot more than just those two things. One of my next favorites is ChatGPT and the Canva plugin. Once you have the plus, you clicked on plugins, you install Canva, and then you just tell ChatGPT, I'd like you to make the next 30 days worth of social media content. I want you to use these colors, this style. I want you to go to Canva and pull down as many images as possible. And then ChatGPT is going to go and make those for you very, very quickly. And when it's done, it's going to have links to the Canva for you. So now all of a sudden you have everything available for you directly in Canva. And what's happened is it's created, you're invited to an open house. And all I have to do is click on it and it takes me there and I change the writing. I change the content or just sold or house for sale or whatever. I go right into Canva. It's got the layout done for me. I finish it up with my own images and your social media is off and running for a month in less than an hour. Questions, Kathy?
How would you incorporate that? Do you also have to go to the website to Canva and add, or can I do it from my ChatGPT? Like I have DALL-E there. How would I add that?
So DALL-E will create the images for you, right? But what
it won't. I asked it to create. I gave it my image and I said, make me look like a professional realtor. It won't let me do that, but it will create a brand new image.
That's right. So what it will do is give you a full description of anything you upload to it, but it won't take that image and rechange it. There's a lot of AI software out there that does that will like make your new images for you or what have you. DALL-E doesn't do that yet, but it will describe your image in detail. And then you can take that description and put it back in. It's going to do it then. Does that make sense?
Yeah. What does Adobe do again that DALL-E doesn't?
So Adobe does an amazing job on real life images. Adobe does something else, and I'll show you guys. I'm going to give you guys a great example of what else Adobe can do while we're here. Are you guys seeing my Adobe?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to give you, this is going to be something that you guys will probably get really, really fast. I just pulled this down from the internet. So if you guys know these people, don't worry. I don't know who they are. They're not Tom Ferry clients. Look let's say we have a team photo and somebody left our team and we don't want to go out and shoot new team photos. We click on remove. We come on over here and we go, well, you know what? We're not too happy with you because you are off on your own. And all I do is go like this with Adobe really, really quickly. And next thing you know, she's gone. And Adobe is not only going to get rid of her, but it's going to fix the image for me. So now Adobe's going to fix the wall and fix the window and fix everything. and then give me an option on whether I like it or don't like it. And it's instantaneous and free. Now, sometimes Adobe will get tricky and it'll think that area is too blank. I'm going to put in a chair. And I'll be like, take the chair out, right? So, or I can, yeah, if I don't like the way somebody's elbow looks, hers looks fine, I can select different options for this. But it is a powerful, powerful tool, and Adobe does way, way, way more. If you go back to, the home page of Adobe, when you guys go to Adobe Firefly, text to image, generative fill, text effects, right? Generative recoloring or vector graphic images. When you learn to play with this, you're going to be super excited with what you do, and everybody in the family is going to have some fun. Does that make sense? Questions?
Yes, I have a question. I'm sorry. So how do I get my Canva connected to my chat GPT-4? How do you do that?
Once you go to here, well, let me just show you.
Okay.
It's going to be easier. I've committed to always telling you guys. So once you have GPT-4 and we go here and we go to settings and beta, right? And then we go to beta fixtures and you turn on plugins.
Okay.
Okay. Once those plugins are on, we're going to come back up here to the top and we're going to go here and we're going to go to the plugin store. And then we're going to go Canva. Here's the cool thing. You don't even have to have a paid version of Canva. You just install it and it's plugged in. And then you're off into running. And then when I go here, it's going to open Canva in that exact document that I was just creating for me with ChatGPT. Now I could give GPT all of this information. I could give it the logos. I could give it everything. And then when it opens in Canva, it's going to have everything in it already. So the more I give it, the better it's going to be, right? And if I want to change the wording, I do a quick boom and it's changed.
Do you have to have a Canva account?
No, I have a paid Canva, but the free Canva will work fine.
So does it automatically hook up to your paid, like I have a paid Canva?
No, it'll just automatically hook to Canva, but once you click on it, it'll open in your paid Canva account.
Okay, fantastic.
So
thank you.
Then you'll have all the tools that a paid Canva, like Canva Magic, which is Canva's AI. So you'll have extra stuff available that people that don't have paid don't, but it's all there already.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. You guys, we're going to run out of time. I'm going to try to see one more thing here. Let's go. That's the Canva Magic Studio that I just told you about. Look at this. These are some good graphic design AIs: Luca, Brandmark, Fronty, Uizard, Microsoft Designer and Designs.ai. So if you want to play with graphic design AIs, this is a great place to start. Just pick one. This is me showing you guys the difference between Midjourney, Adobe Firefly, and Dolly, right? I don't want you guys to play with Midjourney. It's very, very complicated. You have to do it on a Discord server anyways, and it's not worth it. It's not any better than Adobe Firefly, which is free. It's actually twice as hard, but that will give you some ideas on that. And then, it can do illustrative work for you too. So like I create a lot of illustrative work for some of my travel accounts. So I told it to create a stylized sketch image depicting a homeowner standing on the edge of a cliff, right? And this is what it ended up making for me, right? Now they have problems with words in Canva, probably, or in ChatGPT. So I have to tell it, fix the words because there's no such thing as pre-carne, or what have you. But this is kind of the way it works for when you're using illustrative AI. This is another version of that same thing. I just tell it to keep going, and it's just creating crazy little fun cartoons that I use for social media. This is you guys getting an example of how realistic it can be for an AI. This is Adobe Firefly, what you're seeing here. I do this quite often with Adobe Firefly because I like posting images that I don't have. This is how Canva would or how ChatGPT would typically do it, right? So it's not as good. So it's getting better. I'm going to try to get to one more thing here just so you guys can see this. These are the generative images AIs. I've already told you that for me, it's Dolly and Adobe Firefly, right? On the next call, like I said, we'll do another call for you guys. I will get into video and audio and show you guys how to edit video, how to edit images, how to edit audio. I promise you that it's super fun too. And then maybe because we'll have a little bit of extra time, we can do some even a little bit of breakouts. I can put you guys, Mike, when we do the next call, let's do it on my Zoom because I can put everybody into breakout rooms and make them do some real life practice.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Well, then you and I'll have to talk.
Okay. Happy to do it for you guys. Mike, if you want, you're welcome to share my info with anybody that wants to reach out direct. I'm happy to answer any questions. Once again, you guys, I love your coaches. I think they're amazing and I will do anything for them. So if I can help, I'm here to help.